really good. So let me. Yeah, very, very, very clean. Because it's an Ultra, the neck is like a more modern style than I'm used to. But looks like a Strat and sounds like a Strat, I think. Hey Rolf, how you doing? My toxic trait is hearing this and thinking I'll sound the same if you just get that guitar. You probably will. And this preset will get you half the way there, won't it? I think it might have 9-gauge strings on it at the moment. Hey Paul, put the cap on. Your voice is extremely quiet. If I press this, is that better now, Jim? Hey Kyle, you're my boo. Is that better now, Jim, hopefully? The cap thing only really works upstairs. That's just a lav mic. Anyway, hope you guys are alright, given current events and stuff. Maybe nice to just hang out and talk about guitars for a bit or something. Yeah, so let's chat about things. This is a guitar that Fender, surprisingly, I'm as surprised as you, sent me. I plan to do a video on it tomorrow, but I just put LED to bed, and so I got a chance to play it and maybe get to know the guitar a little bit better. One of the things that it's got going on is the S1 switch. So in the bridge position, you can add back in the neck. The noise will be mostly down to my house. Anish Darnell, what is the secret behind this beautiful tone despite using any guitar? I'm a big fan of your playing, especially the tone. That's really kind of you to say. I've done quite a lot of videos talking about my main sort of Helix presets. I think this one, if you search Helix dual amp, you'll find. But mostly it tends to be, I think, partly down to this sort of reverb. So if you listen to just the reverb by itself, that's got like a bit of a bloom to it to me. If you didn't have that, like the delay is less important. Justin, you should be able to hear my voice now, hopefully. I think. Let me know if you still can. It might have just taken you a while to catch up to where we are in the stream, but I did boost the voice. And then it's more about like a Dumble style amp model in whatever I'm using mostly. Just used a nail file block thingy to polish up my frets, not sure if it worked. Nail file block thingy. There's these little rubber eraser things that you can get that I presume have some sort of metal in, and those work okay. Glenn says those Ultra Lux are stunning. You like them? Yeah, I think using the best Helix presets out there, so much fun to experiment. That's really kind of you to say. Landon Olive, what would be your advice to an intermediate guitarist who knows scales and basic music theory? What would be a great next progression step to become better? Honestly, no scales and basic music theory. Are you playing in a band? Brian Bimbles. Hopefully the voice will get louder as you get further in the stream. You should be able to hear us. Is the balance okay between guitar and voice? But this is basically as loud as I can get going into YouTube. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can turn the voice up a bit. Probably. No, I can't. I mean, I could put in another block. Is that better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a volume. Why have I got a volume pedal there? Gain is what I want. Knob head. Action. Clear block. Clear block. Right, just give me a second, sorry. That should be better. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. It's just a room mic there. Hopefully that's better. Didn't know I was speaking. It's probably for the best. Is that better? Hey Derek. Hey Josh. Hey Brian. Is that better? Learning triads, Marius suggests to Landon Olive. Only missed sound check. Exactly, Derek. You've not missed much. Juggernaut spy cam. What's the spy cam? Oh, into my room. Yeah, here I am. Eric. Hey, right. A little better. Much better. I don't know. Hopefully that's better. Right, there's a guitar. Right. So the step between being intermediate. Yeah, someone suggested triads. That's a great thing. I would also say what you think you know about the major scale maybe is not as much as you really know. I would try doing things like taking arpeggios through the scale. Like that sort of thing. Like, do you really know the major scale would be my first kind of question. Can you do these sort of little things? I've just gone silent. Have I? Really? 1, 2, 3. Shouldn't have. Is it working? Have you muted it, Paul? Hopefully you can hear us. You're fine. Right. I think, Paul, maybe you're slightly behind. Okay, I'm still here. Yeah, but what I would say, if you're thinking you're intermediate, I would maybe try and get out there and try and do some of the things that you're hoping to do. Like whether that's playing with people. Hey, Steve. Playing with other players. Maybe try and record bits and pieces. What is it? And if you're an intermediate player, I imagine you probably actually make some money playing guitar. And at least you can get out there enough to know what your weaknesses are. Start learning songs. Get together and play with some people. That's the sort of things that I would suggest, maybe. I think it does become a point where you're just thinking about doing something and staying in your room until you're an amazing player or whatever, but maybe you just get out there and play. Derek says, I think of intermediate advanced guitar like mid-end game RuneScape. The line is very blurry and the mid-game is absolutely enormous, but there's plenty of fun to be had pre-end game. I think exactly what Derek says. Like, a dumble help a lot. There you go. Gabe's got a great suggestion. But yes, so intermediate players, I mean, I'd suggest that maybe some of the more popular players that you see out there are not necessarily the most advanced players ever. You, like Derek has said, like there's a lot of fun to be had in the sort of mid game. You know, if you put anyone next to someone like Jonathan Kreisberg or Julian Lage, they're probably going to look quite intermediate. Bryant said, I think intermediate is having all the tools needed to learn, just not knowledge, and advanced is having the knowledge. Maybe. John, is the Bad Cat gone? It's up there. How do I like it compared to the other amps? I think it's great. I plugged it in yesterday and just was playing straight into it for a couple of minutes while I had a chance. Yeah, an amazing amp, Josh. I would encourage you to go and try one if you get a chance. And you also asked how I like this compared to the Vintage 2. It's a totally different feel to this. This feels like more like a Sir in that it's not like a vintagey Strat thing. Brian says, intermediate is where technique is no longer prohibitive, but you don't know the wealth of things you would as an advanced player. But I think labels around beginner, advanced, all of this sort of stuff is maybe less important than actually getting out and just trying to do the thing. There is always going to be someone more advanced than you. One of the things that I regret sort of as a kid is kind of not saying yes to doing things. I think one of the best ways to learn is practice, but also I think getting out there and just playing with other people. I think this guitar is a perfect blend of vintage looks and tone with modern super Strat. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would say. It looks kind of like a Strat, plays more like a sort of Sir type situation. But yeah, I would never let the idea that you think you're not good enough stop you trying to get together with people. It's kind of weird that they're labeling this guitar as vintage when it has all these modern features like the post-trem, two-post trem with block saddles, stainless steel fret, yeah, and an ultra neck. I think ultra is the first word there. Lux, I think, is what means that it has the stainless frets. And then vintage really is just about having the nitro. I have on order a Sterling CT50 Fireman Silver. What is my opinion of the guitar? Looks like this one. I think it's the CT50. I've done a few demos of it. Heavy. Amazing guitar for the money. I think in the US you guys get it quite a lot cheaper. I think not much actually comes with being advanced rather than a level of comfort and having to think less about stuff. I think it's also very genre technique dependent. I'm good at some things and trash at others. Exactly, and this is the thing also, the more advanced you get a guitar, potentially the more you start to specialise, and so things that you, like an intermediate guitarist might be able to do a lot of different things in a way that an advanced guitarist might just be really good at jazz or whatever. Do you know what I mean? This one, yeah, I think that might be one of the things Chile South Guitars says. He's owned a lot of super Strats and none have that stratty tone I like. I think Fender pickups definitely, to me, and Fender guitars sound most like a Fender. Eric says, playing live in a band changed everything for me. I played for 15 years in my bedroom, thinking I wasn't ready until I got talked into it, and I made more progress the first year than so before. The other thing is that I think you might find, so what I try to, well, I don't know whether this is healthy or not, but try not to be the worst person on a gig. But do you know what I mean? Like, there will be someone else out there who's maybe in some ways not even as qualified as you, who's out there making money in the field too. It's more about just get out there. It doesn't really matter. Right. Do you still play Mesa Boogies? I don't have any Mesa Boogies, Robert. I sold them because I got a little bit spooked out that they apparently needed so much work. Question for the chat: Olympic White or Fiesta Red? Olympic White is my event. Any sessions to grow on YouTube? You just got to do it and hope for the best. How do I like the neck on it? It's a bit modern for me. This is the one part of the guitar which I was sort of wondering, like, will that work? I think it's very sort of modern D-ish. Beware the Player 2 modified Strat. The noiseless pickups in that model use ceramic magnets and not in a good way. Cheese grated tones all right. Is that true? The Player 2 modified. So which one's that? So in the normal Player 2 Strat, are those Alnico? Playing in my bedroom changed more for me. Been playing with people quite a while, but got a dose of reality when I record and watch myself play. Yeah, I think a lot of people leave it too long to record themselves, and you really get an idea about stuff. Top 3 guitars for gigging. Anish asks, Anish Darnell, sorry, butcher your name. For me at the moment, the Les Paul has been my number 1, surprisingly, this year. What else then? A Strat, whether it's the Silver Sky, it's been quite nice to gig, and I think maybe actually number 2 should be a Telly, and then maybe number 3 is one of my Strats. The surprising thing I found about the Les Paul is that for the cleaner tones, I actually prefer them playing kind of clean. They've got a really full sound, and then when I kick on a lead, but yeah, then when you kick on a lead, it's just that liquid kind of feel. Nitbot says Les Paul kind of has a reputation for not being very tuning stable due to the headstock. It's surprising to hear it's one of your favourite gigging guitars. Yeah, I've done quite a few videos on it. I've not had any tuning stability issues with that one or the Gibson Les Paul that I had previously. What amp am I playing, Miguel asks? I'm just using Helix, and it's the Dual Litty Aristocrat. So it's my dual amps preset, which is a Litigator and an Aristocrat. Sweetwater let the cat out of the bag. Old Mitch. Attitude is everything at any level, says Frog in a Well. Marius asks about tips for creating melodic lines. Love to know how you choose your notes and make them sound so expressive. I think choice probably doesn't come into it too much. I've done a few videos on melodic playing from my point of view, and it's more about, I think, for me, knowing very clearly what key I'm in at all times, and then trusting instinct. So if I'm playing over this little loop, I'm thinking A major all the way, so that's now a C sharp minor. Can I sing it? Yeah, Jim, those aren't Gibsons though, son. Bryant Bimbles, is that, am I saying it right? How to don't get lost in the chord progression while soloing is to first of all, you have to really know the chord progression. In what context are you talking, Miguel? Are you talking like jazz or? The long lines thing, start with them slightly slower. Hey, Matt, you alright? Where are you right now? I feel like if you just do the pentatonic scale and the progression has no accidentals, you're probably pretty safe. Hexatonic you're definitely pretty safe with until a thing changes key, which sometimes things do. You know, you might get this kind of thing, or this kind of thing, and then knowing a little bit of jazz goes down kind of a long way, just down the road. Ian asks, is there a skill or technique that is often missed in a new player's development that will hold them back in the longer term? I think that the thing that I've noticed more than anything is when you, and I sort of know this because I was one, when you see a shredder jump into other situations. So someone who's like been really, really far down the rabbit hole, like sweep picking and stuff like that, that to me is like the sort of textbook fish out of water situation where sometimes you then see them playing in a different context, you know, because sometimes it's not that easy to actually, you know, make any money or play music if it's just like a shred genre, and then you go and you see them playing like sort of pop tunes. And the things that they seem to struggle with might be like rhythm chops, like that sort of thing. That to me is like the number one spot that I've sometimes seen people sort of just that have totally seemed to neglect that side of things, and then it seems like, oh, actually there's like a bit of a feel gap and context gap. Do you know what I mean? That's the only one thing that I would say that I've consistently spotted. Do you know what I mean? Hey Keith, it is in my colour, isn't it? Have you got your video done yet? So yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed, that, but again, because for a lot of us like me, sort of the noodly stuff is kind of what's fun to play, but then when you actually start working as a guitarist, very little of that stuff that I do all the time is actually useful. It's like the rhythm stuff and trying to have pocket, those kind of things that are actually really difficult to conceptualize in a lot of ways. Hey John, in what ways would you prefer gigging a Helix plus FRFR to gigging a Katana? The foot switching on the Katana, I think, is a little bit blind in a way that the Helix is not. So I just feel like I'd be able to look down at my Helix and know what was going to happen. When I've gigged the Katana, it's a little bit because there's not really labels in the same way, and also switching between modes, so you can't really have multiple things switching at the same time unless you've got some sort of MIDI situation. Whereas on my Helix I have snapshots, and then above the top I have like the effects, so I think it'd just be a bit more flexible and a bit more clear what was going on at my feet with the Helix, and probably sound closer to what I want it to sound like, just because Helix is what I would use more often. Nick Tags asks, have I owned a Fender Custom Shop Strat recently? Nope. Have I ever owned? Yes, I had a red one like 6 years ago. Noticed here in the US that there have been a lot for sale under 3K recently within the range of the Strat you're playing. Good time to buy. I think it is a good time if you've got the money to buy, because I think... Yes, go and watch Keith's video. You can link it in the chat if you want, Keith. Tell people what it's about. I think it's got some of my playing in it, potentially. At least play it silently in the background, give them that bump. Hey John, could you pinpoint your biggest aha moment while improvising? So, this is the thing, I don't think that there is one. has really helped for me is that I can remember like it being a thing where I would get on stage and you get this moment where you want to improvise, and it still happens, and I'm sure some of you guys have it too, where you're like, I just want to be good, and it is a real sort of pain in the dick, right? And you're just kind of like, this is just embarrassing. Or you have it sometimes where you play something and you're thinking, well, this just sounds like dog, the S word. I found over time, so basically all of my playing these days is improvised. And I think that is kind of the secret to this, because I've had quite a big player ask me for a Skype sort of hang, and he was like, I've been, touring this stuff, and I've, been playing written solos and it's all on rails. And then he was like asking like, how do you think about improvising again? I think it's very much a different muscle, where if you put all your eggs in the improvising basket, then you kind of get better at it. If you don't, then it kind of just withers away. So every single day where I'm just sitting down and trying to make a melody, kind of from nothing, although we just have tendencies that happen. I think that's the only secret that I could say for me, is that to A, really know what key everything you're playing is in, and then B, just do it every day. That helps. Does that include chord sequences knowledge, or just work on basic chords but concentrate on rhythm skills? So, Ian, I think it depends on what the goal is, but I would certainly listen to some things like Nile Rodgers or Prince, or like Rob Harris from Jamiroquai, and try and take a little bit from those kind of guys. Prince. If I already see Prince, I might have already said Prince. I think just learn some actual songs, really, and that was, I think, what really helped me in some ways, because like coming from like a bit of a shred background and then trying to actually make money playing guitar, it's like, right, well, I just need to learn material, and I think you'll naturally sort of start to figure out what those things might be. Let me just, I guess, give you like a little bit of an example of things that I probably wouldn't have done loads as a kid growing up, but what key? This kind of stuff, I guess. So that kind of, right. Just, I think it really helps sometimes to do stuff with a looper or a real drummer. And try and put together things that sound vaguely like music to you. Like little this kind of thing. This is the line 6 looper right now. Like, I don't have all of the answers or anything, it's just this sort of things like this that I would spend time trying to work on, and being conscious that this is not something that I've totally got nailed. And particularly if you're, a shreddy boy or a noodly boy, at least take the time to set up like a loop like this, maybe, and practice. Another good idea. Just try and place things So, and listen. And kind of be a bit critical about your playing. And then get back to your normal shred. Those are some ideas, but yeah, like I think a looper might be a good idea in general for someone who's maybe feeling like they've got blind spots around some of this stuff. Let me tune up a second. Any other questions about bits? The frets, someone asked, feel silky, silky smooth. I've not really bent too much on this guitar yet. So let me just get this in tune. Hey, Lisa Lynch says, is it like a 60s neck? It is not. It's like an Ultra neck. It would be, I think, just think of it as a Fender Ultra with some slightly more vintage style pickups in it and a nitro finish and stainless frets. I think that gets you pretty much in the ballpark for what it is. It's, the vintage part in the name is throwing people off a little bit, but definitely not any kind of vintage feel to the neck or anything like that. It's definitely got like a pretty skinny situation, like a modern sort of D. Says, I always find these Ultra necks a little clinical. Hey, Eggle Macon. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name. I should learn to read, shouldn't I? Yes, it's for me more on the modern side. Can anyone here recommend the Kernan Ridge Overdrive? Oscar, whereabouts are you based? Cheers for that. I'm never going to be a shredder. If I found that magic genie with a wish, I would wish to have the skills of Rory Gallagher. Who would you wish to become? I'm quite happy just where I'm at, Ian. I wouldn't... there's not someone out there that I'm kind of look at and go, I wish I was exactly that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like... I don't know how to say it. I feel like I've got enough of a boring voice of my own, at least. Toby says, sound reminds me a lot of Sato and those kind of Sir guitars. Echo asks, what would I recommend for the best new amp to pair with Line 6? Under 1K for best tone worthy of recording with. Has anyone else got any other suggestions for something under £1,000 that would be worth it? Under £1,000 for an amp to me is a little bit. Maybe one of those Marshall Studio things, depending on where you are. In the UK, I think those would be around about that sort of money. Yeah, Eggle, those artist guitars, particularly when I think like this is a guitar 10 times the price. Like, how different is it really? Stainless frets. You know. Derek asks, how long does each video take you to make from start to finish? It really depends. The ones that take the longest are the ones that are like more teachy or like have like a bit of tab to go along with them. Then the other ones that take the longest are like if you've got like comparisons between multiple guitars, that sort of stuff. But I tend to do like 2 in a morning. So so maybe 2.5 hours each or something like that. It really does depend. Any show or place specifically you would like to play? Stephen, there's nothing really. I quite like being in my bedroom, sorry. Had a Harley Benton Fusion, changed the pickups to some older Damazios and was blown away. I think I've often overlooked like the idea of a pickup change, and then I did it on the that Ibanez Roadstar, put in some of those Monty's pickups. It's just amazing. Do you think being able to sing what you play is the ultimate skill to have as a guitarist / musician? No. No, I think it's a good skill to have, but I don't think it's the ultimate skill. I quite liked Julian Large's take on this, which was that sometimes the beauty of playing guitar is that you don't actually know exactly what's going to come out. And I think there is this idea in terms of ego where you want to say that you intended to play everything. I'm definitely not someone who's like that. Like, yeah, I'm just having a go and seeing what comes out. Although I can't sing and play at the same time, it does change in some ways what I play though. So let me think about what should I try and play. Someone tell me. Do I watch the Bake Off? No, we don't watch TV. We have been watching Alien Earth. I say we don't watch TV. We don't watch like BBC or anything like that. Lenny has Netflix and Amazon Prime. Brad Paisley put it best. He sings to get to the sun. Yeah. Someone was this is a cool thing. I've not listened to much Brad Paisley, but what I did watch, because someone was emailed me like saying when am I going to play melodically like Brad Paisley, and I watched some Brad and I was like this is a country shredder, and like amazing playing, but it wasn't like, I'm trying to find the words for it. But someone suggested me a great Brad Paisley, so I'd love to check out some more of his stuff. The casual audiophile suggests the Fender 68 Custom Vibro Champ, and I don't think that's a bad shout. Maybe something like a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe under £1,000. Is that? Cluster Pluck. Yeah, Brad Paisley. He sounds amazing. But like a country guitarist that shredders love was kind of the first sort of things that I was finding. That was another thing that I was seeing quite often, was like people that don't really like country but like Brad Paisley, which was kind of interesting. I saw him playing with John Mayer on a what was that song? Bigger Than My Body or something like that. Have I heard about McG? I've heard about him, but I haven't heard any of his actual music. No, I haven't heard any of his music, but I don't know. It sounds like he's having an impact on a lot of people. I didn't think much of the sound of that pedal that has been going around recently. Was anyone taken by that? The Tascam channel clone. Listen to. So what should I listen to? Live versions on his channel. Alright, well, I'll check it out. Oh, I didn't recommend it over the 68 custom vibro chamber. It's just another thought of something that was under £1,000 that might be worth checking out. Got a dog food out just as they made it. The Muck G thing. Did I keep the Les Paul in the end? Which Les Paul? The one that I've been gigging? Yeah, it's upstairs. The K-line. How would I compare this Fender Lux to a Sir? I think it'd be lighter than a Sir. Most of the ones that I've tried. One I traded on my SAS PRS. So that would have been the actual Gibson. That one went to a guy in Taunton because Chris at K-Line sent me over that Les Paul that I've actually been gigging. How would you use triads in lead playing as compared to rhythm? Mostly for that. Or spread triads. Like spread triads. That kind of thing. Yeah, the Sirs that I've played recently have been a little on the heavier side, and then there was two at Project Music that arrived that just because the neck had moved in shipping were unplayable, so those needed setting up. Do you sweep triad pairs? No. Did I study at a conservatory? No. I did commercial music in Bath Spa, which was a waste of time for 2 years, and then I went to work in a petrol station. But I have played jazz at home for years, so I used to do like a jazz tune every week. Wait, there's a Nacho in Spinal Tap. Is that true, Andy? Hope you enjoyed the film. I've not seen it. Oh dear. is a great question. So Lisa Lynch, I presume you're using someone else's account, maybe, unless you're one of the very rare female viewers. If you had to take one guitar on tour, flying long haul, would you take your poshest, most expensive, or a good, cheaper workhorse that you wouldn't mind losing breaking? So for me, 100%, I would take a guitar that I wouldn't mind if it got broken. It's Tim. Tim, middle name Lisa Lynch. I would take, because I've seen this so much, like people that are gigging guitars that really matter to them. And you see it all the time, don't you? Like someone's lost one in an airport, or it's got smashed up at an airport. It's just like, what, you know, that's like not guaranteed to happen, but not unlikely to happen. I just wouldn't take an expensive guitar. So something like this, not expensive, do you know what I mean? But you know, not a special guitar. So I might take something like, especially if it's a long tour, something with stainless frets might be an idea. Maybe something like a Sir. Maybe something like this, if the neck was slightly thicker. Yeah. Paul, I I do get what you mean, especially sometimes with an acoustic guitar where you're tuning up. And you know sometimes where you might start tuning and it starts to like stop tuning up higher. Do you ever get that? And then it's like I'm tuning the thing up, the pitch is not rising, and now I'm expecting it to break. Does that ever happen to you? Right, let's try a bit of a tune. Anyone got any requests? I hope everyone's gearing up to have a good weekend. He wears a Nacho t-shirt. Does he really? Any gigs this weekend? Yes, I've got one tomorrow. The wife is on that gig as well. I might gig this. Something Eric Johnson-ish. That would be on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god, sorry. Let's try that again. 2, 3, 4. Daniel's at the start of the stream. play today. That first lick I love. Sorry about my playing that. Would you trade your current professional musician lifestyle for the chance to join a band, going in the studio and touring with no guarantee of making it big? No. No, thank you. Have you ever listened to much of Steve Kimmock? Zero in the 80s? No, I've not heard of them. No. I had a bit of a prog phase, but my prog bands that I would listen to were kind of more like Dream Theater era. So I missed a lot of that sort of stuff. King Crimson I listened to a little bit, and a tiny bit of other stuff. Not prog. No, sorry. I just assumed prog because Zappa. Check out Richie. Nope, I haven't. I don't listen to as much music as I'd like. No, there's no part of is it actually similar? That's cool. Keep seeing the stickers on the pickguard and the labels hanging off the headstock. Yeah, it's just come out of a case, so I don't know why Fender do this on expensive guitars. To me, this seems like the cheapest thing you could do to make a guitar look cheap. Anyway, maybe that's just me. Where's it gone? It's not working, is it? Get under the strings. Is it because they're generally set with a bit of a lower action? The action's fairly a bit high on that. He was one of the few lucky ones to get a Dumble custom built and went on to make 2 Rock a reality. Oh, nice. I remember seeing him pinch those in G3. Yeah, G3 was where I discovered him as well. Yeah. How does it compare to the K-Line or Silver Sky? So the answer is that to me this doesn't feel like a Strat to play. This feels to me like a Super Strat. Does that make any sense to anyone? In that, for me, when I think of a Strat, I think of a more vintage type guitar. Not actually vintage, but with like a... Daniel, I think you're a bit behind on the stream if you want to skip forward. I think you're watching from the beginning, maybe. But anyway, yeah, so this neck is way skinnier. Stainless steel frets, I've got stainless steel frets on another Strat which has a thicker neck. But the Silver Sky or the K-Line feel much more like a chunky neck, you know, slimmer radius, all that sort of stuff. Don't like the radius, but Super Strats with 15.5 inch radius is your thing. That's interesting. You can get under the strings on those, is it? Shay McDonald asks, what rig am I using? So this is just a Helix, and I'm using JC Dual Litty Artist. It's kind of like my Eric Lee preset. What do you mean G3? As in Eric Johnson, Steve Vai, and Joe Satriani. There was a G3. That was how I discovered Eric Johnson back in the day. Have I ever played single coil pickups that I didn't like? Yes. So there is a set of Radio Shop Chris Buck pickups that I didn't like. What else is there? Trying to think of others. That's one that sticks out in my head that I didn't like. Are these the new $3,000 US made series? Yes, they are, Lauren. I don't know if everyone gets to the stage where like just every sort of new guitar just feels like they're all expensive now. I can't imagine what it must feel like for you guys that were around in like the 90s buying gear. Couple of vintage Strats that I want to sell. You have actual vintage Strats, Lauren? Can I have one? I'll swap you one for this. Let me tune again. Right, let's go for this bridge. I thought you might be Daniel. So I do think this S1 switch, I think I was kind of agreeing with some of what I think Rhett was saying, where it's like not sure if I like that, but if you're on the bridge pickup in like a midway tone, so can I see that S1 switch actually being useful? Hey James, hope you're doing well. Particularly for this bridge position, yes. No, it's not a mid boost. What it does is it adds this pickup in to whatever other position you're on. The liquid canvas, can you send me via email like a tune that I need to hear of Kimmock's? I recognise the name Kimmock in relation to Two Rock somehow, and I don't know why. So it's not a mid boost. What it's doing is adding. So here's without. says, no, don't. It's not an interruption, Liquid Canvas. I'm just asking you because you're mentioning it, and the name Kimmock is ringing a bell for some reason, but I'm not sure that I've listened to any of this stuff. Maybe I should. Vintage V6 Icon, is that a close enough representation of a Strat to compare to the real thing? I would say that a Strat is just the shape. There are so many different types. You know, like this is a Strat, right? But it's a very much more modern sort of feel. Some of my other guitars, hey Joe, are much less of this kind of modern vibe. You know, like the Silver Sky to me actually feels much more sort of like a Strat to my hands than this does. I would call this like a Super Strat. A Super Strat without the hot pickups. Hey Ritesh. I've just thought of another audience potentially. My go-to is Levinson Blade. Nice. The Levinson are still doing some really interesting stuff. I need to try and grab one for a review, but I haven't yet. The Ibanez AZ, which in many ways is kind of like a Super Strat as well. The thing that I saw a lot of people find with that is that it's actually quite a chunky full neck. So this is another kind of potential audience that are looking for something like that. Whereas like a Sir, they have like a range of necks. The Ibanez AZ, all of the necks that I know of are a little bit on the chunkier side, right? So maybe that's another audience that Fender are catering to. I don't often tap delays the Liquid Canvas. I tend to, unless it's very song specific. So I have one song in the set that I play with function bands, which needs a dotted delay. That thing from Shut Up and Dance, which is kind of like Streets Have No Name. Other than that, I don't tend to tap, sorry. Ibanez RGs are my main guitars. One sit next to me now, but I have vintage ones that are 80s models. Nice. Neck is 17mm thick and bass guitar wide fretboard. Yeah, I grew up playing an Ibanez RG 7620, if you know those, Lauren. Area loves his 3 Sir guitars, quality and craftsmanship, top shelf, stainless steel frets. Are those slightly older ones then, if they're stainless steel? Because I think sometimes now they don't use stainless steel on some stuff, right? Paul, the things that I tend to do to keep fingers moving are more like the Monday videos. That one. Dotted quarter note, yeah. What's me playing? Let me get one on here then. Let's just see. What should we put on? Like a transistor tape. So now, so we go dotted. Brian says, I have 2 strats, a mod shop and a select strat from 2012. I would like a Silver Sky, but I like a little thinner neck. And yeah, that's kind of the thing where Fender make so many different types of strats that you probably find a Fender that you like. If you like a thinner neck, you're kind of out of luck with a Silver Sky, right? Compressor that I use, I think Dynacomp. So like, it's called Red Squeeze in Helix. I tend to use that. Right, let's try this. Brian, hopefully some will start to hit the used market and some of you guys might be able to grab one. Let me try that again. Let's right, let's just find a different tempo. Let's try that. Alright, I forgot to press record. 2, 3, 4. Didn't work. Right, that was a good idea. Terrible execution. 2, 3, 4. you're saying quarter with dotted eighth. Strings, Lauren, and also you're getting quite a lot of like ambient noise from that mic. Do I ever go to the dark side and play bass? Hey Wadey, how you doing? Mazer Cali tweed, turtleneck, long sleeve t-shirt. A turtleneck and a long sleeve t-shirt? That shouldn't be allowed, should it? Did I really do that? Sorry. I need to make an apology video next then. Right. Try this Strat with the Tonex pedal. Not on a live stream. I can't really do anything, I'm just stuck downstairs. What does the cape sound like? Hope you're well, Wadey. Send me a WhatsApp. tape is post the looper. Whoops. Oh, cheers so much. Let me the thing that I've always found a little bit. Thank you again so much for that. Really appreciate you. How do I let's do something. You know, some people like Nuno Betancourt have that really cool. Is that? How do I do that? I don't know if I can do the, you know, like the really fast stuff. Put that in the right place. Oh, dotted stuff. It's definitely a different thing, isn't it? Luke asked if I have any experience with the Ultra or Ultra 2. I've played an Ultra Telly. I'm considering swapping the pickups for the ones in the Lux. Tennis Penis Wenis. This is quite light. I would say maybe like £7.3. Maybe. Hey, Krenna. the loop as well as the dotted thing is tricky. 3, 4. Hey John. Right, I need to stop with that because I'm sorry, I'm very amateur with dotted delays. How you doing, John? Dotted delay always sounds like U2 to me, yeah. Unless it's used like Nuno, but I don't know exactly how he does it. Is the telly derangement in your rear view now? Dennis asks. I don't know. I feel happy with the tellies that I've got. I'm certainly not gassing for another. Yeah, this is a Fender that got sent to me, John. Most comfy guitar shape so far? For me, I think it's the Strat. Does anyone have any other opinion? Some of you might be Strandberg players, maybe, I don't know. I've never played one of them properly. Didn't find it particularly comfortable. For me, a Strat, the shape of it is just perfect. Ooh, here's something we could do. Yeah, Jazzmaster sat down, it's very comfy. Enjoy dinner, Joe. Hope you're well and family are good. That's quite a cool little thing. So that's a pitch echo liquid canvas on Helix. Jumping up a +7 interval, so that's like a fifth, right? Cheers, Tom. Yeah, it keeps steadily going up. I'm just carrying on doing what I've always done, I think, more or less. There seem to be some more people sometimes. Is this still working? violin mode, probably Lydian. I'd be quite happily. Yes, Mr. Martin, who is up in the chat, you may still be watching, has set that guitar up beautifully. It's got some Monty's pickups in it. Did my camera freeze? My camera froze. Useful. Let me see what happens if I do this. Looks like my camera froze. Hold on. Is that better? Are we back? So yeah, there's a couple of vids that I played it in. That Ibanez Roadstar is a beautiful thing. Right, let's do some. It's been on the channel a couple of times, Tom. It's like maybe a week, 2. It's in a couple of videos for sure. The most recent one was like I've spent £100,000 on gear, and I was using that into a Boss B5, which is like my first pedal that I ever bought. Check it out. I think that guitar is sounding amazing now. It's got Monty's 365 retro winds. See you, Brian. Cheers for stopping by. So yeah, literally this house we moved in 2007, I think. So hey Tim, how you doing? Cheers, Ant. I love making them. I'll try. I want to try and remember that. Was that the loop? Is that what the loop was made up? So the tempo is 118. 10. Thank you. Cheers, man. So that's. Is that right? Let me try and listen for it. So in the Helix Grandmaster Yoda, there's a block called Pitch Echo. No, this is just a normal Helix, Tim. I don't know, what was that riff? Is that it? What's that? That's annoying. Right, I need to try and... I don't want to lose that. Seems quiet on the dog front. Have you banished them to the garage? No, they're here. They're just tired. They're all here. Ruben's there, Prada's there. I think the rest of them are on there. On that sofa. They're all here. Did anyone have any opinions on that? Like, was I barking up the wrong tree? Because I did feel like maybe it felt like I was bullying Boss with that a little bit. It's trying so many Strat guitars help you dial in what you really prefer. It's still the K-line, yeah. It's definitely still the K-line. Although the PRS Silver Sky, I have to say, is like a close kind of, if I never had that K-line, I think I could be happy with the Silver Sky as well. But yeah, the K-line is still it. A lot of dirty blondes, I think. What? Sorry. Is that actually it? Sorry, I'm having a lot of fun with that. The liquid canvas, I really appreciate you saying, like, trying this dotted stuff, because it is an area. How do I not lose this? I can't actually totally recreate that. Anyway, that'd be a nice one to try and remember one day. Samuel says, somebody needs to explain the premise of this Ultra Lux Vintage series to me, because I thought Ultra Lux was their bleeding edge modern Fender, but evidently not if it's also vintage. I think the whole idea is to take that Ultra Lux thing, which I don't think many people really knew about, if I'm honest with you. Me personally, I've not heard of the Ultra Lux. I don't know if you did before, Samuel. Sounds like maybe you did. But the Ultra Lux, the idea of it was the Ultra, stick some stainless frets on it, right? And then the idea of this is, we'll take that concept, stick some older style pickups in it, and stick a nitro sort of half relict job on it, which to me, like, is basically what a Sir Classic S might type guitar. Like, that's kind of, I think, something to look at if you're looking for something to compare it to, right? Or you think just a Fender Ultra, stick some stainless frets on it, and a nitro finish. You know, those kind of things. More like a Fender custom shop finish, really. reminds me of a Peter Gabriel thing, I think. Or there's a tune, is it called When Saints Go Machine? Is it a niche audience? Possibly, but then like the Sir, this was kind of, so before I spoke to an Aussie, I think John, probably not here right now, he's probably got a live doing something. The thing with the Sir is that in certain parts of the world, a Sir is like $6,000, whereas this is not. So I think this guitar is actually like a little bit more consistently priced over the world, and I do think the Sir Classic type thing has become like a little bit of a workhorse with pro musicians, you know, like, or you know, semi-pros, like the type that are gigging their guitars. I think it makes sense to have stainless frets for those types of things, or if you were taking a guitar like on a residency or something like that. That to me is like the market for it, or people that can really afford a $3,000. Yeah, the heel is lovely actually. I think this is, I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, like that residency. That was back in 2015. And I did take a Strat to that one, which had stainless steel frets, and then the other guitar that I had was a Fender vintage hot rod 60s telly. But yeah, that kind of thing. Like my buddy Jake is going to the Alps at the start of next year, and he's been thinking that it might be worth having a guitar with stainless steel frets for that, because if you're doing like 30, 60, however many gigs in a row, they copied your Stratocaster. Do you reckon they saw it? 3, 4. Is that right? Ah, that little riff is what I've added, isn't it? Just that. Like that. I'd be really interested in a Revstar with proper single coils, to be honest with you, Paul. This is what I've concluded, especially after John put those single coils into my Ibanez Roadstar. And I just can't imagine liking the guitar more than I do with single coils in it. Like having just played that Roadstar and just listened to the tone of it with some monitors in it. It's just like, well, any guitar, I think for me, that I'm going to really play a lot is going to have single coils in it. On the fence with these rounded heels, sometimes that corner is sort of finish line for the neck or hand position. Well, as in something that there. Helps. At the time, Tim, no, I didn't spend my life savings on licorice. And now I can afford licorice. I did have some yesterday. Buffering very badly on this end. See you later, Jim. Feed the lions. Yeah, good luck with it. Good to catch you, Jim. I think I'll probably start to wind things up unless anyone has any specific questions they want me to try and address. But hopefully you guys have not minded hanging out here for a little bit whilst I sort of spaff around on the guitar. Hopefully I've answered some of your questions. And it's not been a total one-way waste of your time. Has anyone been watching Alien Earth, by the way? Samuel, the rig is the Helix. Did I answer your question properly, by the way, earlier? Yes, about what this guitar was. I think I did. I think my first move might be to actually put 10s on this, because F major is one of my favourite keys. Harry, how you doing? Hope you're well. How's your guitar coming along? Quite an old boy. Come back to that. Is this Steve? I'm in my Steve Wright shit right, yeah. I'd love yeah, I love Steve Reich. Enclosing the dotted stuff is great for players that loop or play with their rhythms. Yeah. I don't know any other Steve Reich, to be fair, so that's the only one I can think of. Should I try and do a bit of it? Right, someone tell me 154 is about. How neat it goes. Have you tried the JHS PG14? Is that the McG thing? My calendar is LED related. Oh no, the PG14, right. Ah. No, I've not. I wonder what it's based on. But yeah, Wholesome dad joke era. Yo, are you back yet? Yeah, you must be back. You get back in one piece? Yeah, right, I need to stop now. It's a dual FET setup made for Paul's hearing loss. Yeah, I think real men go back to single coils, Paul. I don't know how it really works. Yeah, live I've been really enjoying the humbuckers of the Les Paul, but at home I prefer the sensitivity of a single coil, I think. Combo of the Haunting Mids and the Super Bowl. Cool stuff. No, I've not tried them. The JHS pedals aren't as common in the UK as for you guys over there. Do you ever watch the Philip McKnight podcast? No, but I did catch a couple of clips. He's got like a second channel I saw. But no, generally, no. It's an alright strat, innit? Real men go back to classical guitar. Bang, there you go. I've been told. Or acoustic, yeah. What's on at 11? Phil, is it? I'll be trying to go to sleep by then. Cheers, Tim. I hope you're well. Catch up soon, everyone. Yeah, there'll be a review of this on the channel tomorrow, I think, at some point. But I hope you're all staying safe and all that. Put the guitar down forever and start playing piano. Singles in the next spot. Yeah, but just single coils in general, I think, is where I found my sort of home on guitar. So I think that's okay, innit, right? Right, I'll catch you all later on. Cheers for stopping by. And yes, actually, I need to remember that. Cheers. I want to try and remember that thing. What was it again? That was an F, wasn't it? Something like that, wasn't it? Was it that? I don't know. Hopefully. Cheers.